Welcome back to another ASFX TV exclusive. In today's video, I am going to show you 3 tips and tricks that I use on Tradingview in my trading that don't know that you need. So let's get started. The first one is the inverse. So this is the ability to flip a chart. And I see this all the time with people that I coach in the Black Shirt Club, is they have a preference to either one direction, either the long side or the short side. They see patterns much clearer in one direction over the other. Now, one of the ways that I combat this with my students in the BSc is using this inverse tool. When they find their best setup in the direction that they prefer, what we do is we find that setup, we take a snapshot of it, and then what we'll do is we will inverse it. So I like to trade reversals or counter trend mean reversion trades. So here you can see we've got the previous day's low in here. We start to buy, the buyers come and step in a little bit later on. We've got this nice sort of VCP pattern where the contraction is just volatility is contracting. Yesterday's highs, we get a breakout and we retest. So from the long side, this looks really, really clean. Okay, so now if I take a look at this pattern is very clear to me to the upside, but when I'm looking at it from the downside, it may look very different. So what we do is we invert the chart. So if I invert this, so which is Alt-I, so press Alt and I at the same time on your keyboard, they will then flip the chart. So now you can see that this looks, it's exactly the same pattern, it's exactly the same chart, but all we've done is flipped it 180 degrees. Now, if we go back and just have a look at another pair, you can see this is very similar to this ECAD trade. So if I am not very good at looking at shorts, this is the actual trade on ECAD. I might not see this in real time because it doesn't quite suit my eye, etc. What we can do is we can go back to the UCAD long, and what we'll do is we will flip it over, and then it's just about printing it off and practicing or having it saved on your screen and just looking at it repetitively. Every time you find a beautiful setup to the long side and you're not so good at shorting, press Alt-I and it will flip it over, and you will get better at just identifying the pattern to the other side. Alt plus I on your keypad. It's a great little tip and trick. However, one thing to remember, if you do this to help you, always make sure that you put it back the right way. Otherwise, you will find yourself selling when you should be buying. But it is a neat little trick to help people that could favor trading in one direction. The second indicator the second tip that I want to take you through is time frame specific indicators. So you will see here on the left hand side, if I just open my indicator box, you will see that I have got quite a few indicators on my chart. So you can see here that we've got 1, 2, 3, like 4 or 5 just indicators that tell me certain things about price. Now, this is okay if I'm on a time frame that I like to execute on. So for instance, the 15-minute, I like to execute all of my trades. However, my bias comes from the daily time frame, and I don't need or want to see all of these indicators when I am on the higher time frames. So one of the tips and tricks is you can turn off indicators on specific time frames. So now you can see all I've got is just the EMAs. I have the function to turn off these indicators depending on the time frame that I am viewing them at. And the way that you go about that is if you go to into your settings here, so the little cog, if you go to visibility, you can turn these off. So I don't want it show it on anything on the daily time frame. So the daily, the weekly, or the monthly time frame, I remove it, and I can do that for any indicator that I like. So it only shows on the time frames that I am interested in it. That is also the same for your drawings. So anytime you draw something on the chart, so you can see here I've got this arrow and this risk reward box on the 15-minute. However, they don't appear on the daily time frame. Now the reason for that is, again, you can change the settings of these to only show on specific time frames, which is a great little tip and trick if you don't like to see, if you do multi-time frame analysis. Another little one is if you click here, another way to do that is if you see this visibility on intervals, you can click it to say current interval only, current interval and below. So you can change it, or in one or two just clicks. There's different ways to do it. The other thing, another quick little tip and trick, is if you press Control or Shift, you can select multiple indicators at once, which is another one. So the last little tip or trick that I want to do, and again this comes from teaching people in the Black Shirt Club, which is our private mentorship exclusive for members that want private coaching on a 12-week program. Go and check that out with the link below, or in the description of this video, is alerts using indicators. So yes, you can set alerts at prices. So here, add alert on UCAD. That's very simple to do. However, if you go one step further, you can get alerts when there is a certain condition met. So for example, we like to take entries when things move back to like the 21 EMA on a pullback strategy. I can set an alert. So if you right click, add an alert on UCAD, and you can say UCAD is crossing the specific indicator. So if we go to this, we can say the 21 EMA. So when price crosses the 21 EMA, we can then get it to say trigger once. You can do it once per bar close, or once a minute. And then you can say USD crossing 21 EMA, for example, and give yourself a little note. This will come up on your Tradingview app if you have it on your phone, and it will also pop up on screen, which is great. So also you can use multiple indicators. If I traded a crossover, an EMA crossover strategy, for example, you can do that as well. So if you go add an alert, click on the pattern indicator, you go 8 EMA crossing, again let's select the indicator, the EMAs 21 EMA, this will now send you an alert when the 8 EMA crosses the 21. So if you have indicators on your chart and you want to automate your trading a little bit more, make sure that you're not missing any trades, this is a great little tip or trick to use alerts in conjunction with your indicators. Thanks for tuning into this video. If you do like this style of video, please let us know. Also, if you do want to catch us on ASFX TV, that is the place where you will find more and more of these tips and tricks, and you can watch 4 professional traders live streaming every day of the week, every Monday to Friday, both the London and the New York session.